Okay, so we're back on night number 2, gig number 2 for Bonzo Bash, and my name is Simon Fishburn, and you're with Drum Talk TV. And we've got a very special guest with us. We have Matt Starr, who's joined us tonight, and he's going to be performing. And Matt, you're playing with Ace Frehley at the moment, and Burning Rain. So
yes, I am.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
The sports reporter on the scene.
True.
So tell us, how did you get involved with this? Did Brian call you up? Did you just read about it in Craigslist or something? Or how did you come to actually be a part of this amazing day? And by the way, it is John's birthday today. He's only 65 today, so...
I know, it'd still be pretty good too, I think, you know. Yeah.
Awesome, cool. So how did you get involved?
I had met Brian about 6 months ago, and, you know, just had seen him around, and then I had gone to the Bonzo Bash at NAMM. And had a few people say, how come you're not doing this? And I said, you know, haven't been asked. I'm like, that's cool. You know, happy to be here. It was just such a cool hang. You know, but inside I'm like, can I swear? Alright, anyway.
A little. Go on!
No,
rock and roll.
It's the big one. But, you know, I was just like, oh, you know, I would love to be a part of this. But, you know, I'm just happy to be there. And, but anyway, for this one, East Coast, and I said, you know, I'm from the East Coast, so I said, I can be back there, you know, if you want to. Be happy to do it, and he's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us about, like, this is about John. So
yeah.
Was he a huge influence when you were younger? When did you get into Zeppelin? You know, don't look at your watch and go, well, 10 minutes ago I learned the tune.
Yeah, John Bonham, yeah, he's great. You know, I think I got influenced by him because I was into drummers that were into him, you know. So I grew up in the 80s. Right. You know, some of my guys were Bunny Carlos and you know, Joey Kramer from Aerosmith, and then Tommy Lee was kind of that first, you know, I saw him play and I was just like, wow. And I was reading an article on Modern Drummer, and his tech was talking about Bonham. And he was talking about that the heads he used were thinner than, like they weren't double ply, you know, they were thin. And so I just said, okay, John Bonham. And I knew Zeppelin, but, you know, I just knew the stuff on the radio. So from then I just started going backwards, and I went to the mall, and they had a box set of CDs, and it was like $80. And I was like, 15. I was like, 80 bucks, you know, it's a lot of money, but drum lessons were like $20 a piece at that, you know, back then. So I said, well, do you think there's 4 drum lessons in here? I was like, yeah, all right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I got that and just, you know, just got immersed in it, you know. And even still when I hear his stuff, I'm hearing stuff that I've never heard before or hear it in a different way. I'm doing Sick Again, which is off of Physical Graffiti. And there's just a ton of blazing triplet drum fills that he does, rolls that he throws in there that I just never really heard before, and as listening to him, like, he just sneaks it in, it's like so musical and cool, so yeah, I just keep going back to the source, you know, and he's the source, and then, you know, from him I ended up getting into James Brown, because I knew that he was into, you know, James's drummers too, so, but anyway, yeah, and so, as far as his sound and his playing, that's it, you know, so my kit is, I play Ludwig's, 26, 14, 16, 18, I got a set of vintage Vista lights, the kit I have with Ace is like 28, 14, 16, 18, but all old shells, 3-ply with the blue hoops, and I just get all the shells together and then recover them so they can be whatever color I want them to be, and they sound great, yeah, so, and it's not like, oh, I do that to sound like John Bonham, it's just to my ear, that's the best rock drums I've ever sounded. And that setup too. I mean, that 26 can be a little gnarly. You might have some fights with some producers, but yeah, if it's in the right context, you know, that's just, it doesn't get any better for me.
I've heard John's actually blown a PA with that kick drum, like the first song of the set, and it just blew the whole PA out. So you're used to this drum kit. So when you're sitting in this kit, it's like, this is what I normally play.
Yeah, it felt really comfortable. Someone asked me, you know, because I went up, we were all at rehearsal and looking at the kit and like checking it out, and then I played, and someone said, hey, how's it feel? And I said, fine, it feels normal to me. You know, you got to deal with the 26, such a big piece of gear, so that rack tom is either up high or off to the side, so there's like some considerations, you know.
Yeah,
but,
cool.
Yeah, so anyway, but yeah, I was right home.
Awesome. And okay, so you were talking about the triplets in the song that you're playing tonight.
Yeah.
Is that something that, was that one of the, like the first fills that you ever learned when you heard that? Was that like a huge thing for you? It's like you had to get that down?
Yeah, well the first time I heard a triplet, I must confess, was on a Striper cassette. Cause single, it was a 4-song EP. I was over at some girl's house and she was playing this Striper thing, and I heard this with the hi-hat going through it.
Yep.
And I was just like, whoa. And I just spent the whole night rewinding and listening. It didn't go well with the girl. And, but that was it, you know, I heard that and I
Someone's warming up the vocals.
just, singers. So, yeah, but the sound of that. Carry on. It's getting further away, I think, where we're at.
It's good though, it's good footage.
Yeah, that's Chaz West, by the way. Heading west, hopefully. But yeah, no, the sound of that, you know, like, that's one of those licks, like, you can listen to some of those old school, like, Buddy Rich things. They don't translate in modern rock, it's just, the music's too loud, you know what I mean, all that quick hand stuff, and Buddy's the best, but, you know, a triplet is something that just still has a lot of power, you know, and you're hitting all drums. I mean, you're going doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, you know, you're hitting all the toms and the snare, and the hi-hat's going in, and do it properly, don't be lazy. That's not just there to open and close the hi-hat, it's like a whole thing. And you got the kick drum going, so yeah, I mean, that fill is just, it's huge. And I think, too, guys like Bonham and Mitch, and, you know, Ginger Baker, you know, they do that triplet, the threes, that comes from the jazz thing, you know what I mean? So, 4/4 is cool, but when you start putting threes over fours, you know, and messing with that, that's when it gets funky. You get that funky, you know, manic depression thing going on, and that's the roll part. You know, we got the rock, sampled and all that, but the roll part is all those triplets and yeah, nothing. I mean, I try and put it into every moment I can, you know, and I always wait. Here's a little tip for you. At the end of a song, your guitar player's gonna go, just let him do it. Just Phil Rudd. Just watch the cymbals, wait, and then he goes, and he turns around and looks to you, and then you start doing your stuff, and then make him wait. And then, unless the singer does a jump, you want to hit that when he lands. Otherwise, just lay it out, and then you win the song. And you go bang, and then you go, so you get the last word out.
Of course, we get the last word.
Yeah,
that's really important. I mean, I didn't know how to end a song. I mean, it was right. Like everyone's got their own way of doing it, but it wasn't something like you could read in a book or necessarily learn in a drum lesson.
Right.
But Bonham was self-taught, and so you know he was just great at being able to sort of just be in the moment and be very musical.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's also, I mean, if you listen to a classical piece of music, they don't just whimper out. It ends big, bang, you know. It's also good for getting applause. So even if the song should trickle off, if it's a soft thing, you know, maybe kind of bring something in to end it. It's the exclamation point. It tells people, we're done, start clapping. Thank you, you know. But it's just musically, it makes sense too. And especially rock is just a lot of bravado, you know.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Cool. Excellent. So what are you up to in the coming year, 6 months, a year? What can you tell our viewers at home that you're up to? Got some exciting things coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're having a baby June 25th.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so that's maybe a little drummer.
Is this the number one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a little accountant, whatever. It's all good. No pressure. But yeah, starting to work on a new record with Ace,
yep.
Which is really cool because I'm doing a record with Ace.
What's it like playing with Ace? I mean, when you first started playing with him, were you like intimidated? Were you like?
I don't think I was intimidated because he's a very cool, chill guy. Right. You know, so he is a legend, but he's just hey, how you doing? You know, he's very East Coast and just super chill. So there was no intimidation, but it's Ace. And I saw Kiss in 4th grade. And I could draw all their faces right now. And, you know what I mean? Like, that was my band.
Yeah.
You know, so in a way it was like tripping me out, but then another way it's like, yeah, I'm supposed to do playing with Ace. Like, right. That was kind of the first thought I ever had. I opened up Kiss Alive 2 and was like, I want to be in there with, I don't know what they do. I didn't know about groupies. I didn't know about hotels. I didn't know what they got paid. It's just, I want to be in there doing that.
Right.
So yeah, that whole experience actually was pretty, you know, it was pretty profound, honestly. You know, I just was like, you know what, there's nothing's gonna go wrong with this, man. It's like, you know.
You knew you were in the right place.
Yeah, for sure. And I did my homework. You know, even though I knew all those songs, you know, I still did my homework.
Another tip.
Yeah, I mean, if if you find yourself being nervous, you know, about playing, then work on the song some more. You know, always. Yeah, put in the time, and get, like with this, you know, I'm doing this song "Sick Again." I never played this song before, but I'm from the East Coast. I flew out here from LA, so I got a buddy who's got a studio. I said, "Hey man, can I come down for an hour each day, Monday, Tuesday, and just play some drums?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." So I just played that song and get that physical thing going on. So you go bubba dubba doom and you go boosh, and then you go better doom, and now you're over here for 16 beats. It's like get that physical thing together. So when you're out there, you're playing, the adrenaline's pumping, and the snare drum's sliding. You know, you kind of instinctively do that, and you know how the song's supposed to go. You know what I mean? I don't work it out to the T, so where I'm like reciting it. I don't feel it should be a recital. Yeah, just put in the work. You know what I mean? That's, and I learned that. You know, I learned that from Jason Sutter, who every time I talk to him, he plays with Marilyn Manson now, but he played with New York Dolls and Foreigner and Chris Cornell and etc. Like he's got a great resume. And every time I talk to him, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna go down and like shed. So let's hang out at this time." Or I'll call him. He's in the room shedding and playing and talking to me at the same time. You know what I mean? But it's like that dude is still just always working, and he's taking lessons from other drummers that he's friends with. They're his buddies. But he's like, "Hey man, let's get together. Let's swap some stuff." So it never stops.
Yeah, always open, learning always. And when you stop or you think you know it, you're done, right?
Yeah.
And when you think you know everything, no.
Right, totally. I mean, it's a passionate thing, and it makes it, like I get a new cymbal stand, and I'll be excited to practice all of a sudden. It's just a freaking piece of metal. I had another one just like it, but it broke. You know what I mean? But it's like you get something new, and it energizes you, and inspires you, and it helps you play in different ways too. Different gear, different size drums, different. You ever sit down behind someone's kit and go, "This feels better than mine. What the hell's going on?"
Right. I mean, it's like being in New York when you just go into a different studio, and the guy before is like set it up, and it's like, before I start adjusting everything, I'm just going to play on it like this and see. Why would he have the snare drum up here or whatever? And sometimes it's like, this happened to me the other day, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I remember as a kid myself, just like pulling my drum kit apart and going, I'm going to put the tom up there, I'm going to put the right cymbal over there, Yeah. And it was just, it just conjured, more creativity, I think.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're going to record with Ace.
Yes, record with Ace, and we got sidetracked. But the thing that to me that's really cool about the Ace record too is he's used Anton Fig on everything since his 78 solo album with Kiss, and like probably Tichy played on his last record, played a song down there. So he's had guys play a song or two, but he hasn't had the main drummer Anton. So
Anton,
yeah, just monster.
Awesome. How loud is his left hand? Right?
Yeah, and but anyway, so to be playing on that record is extra cool. Well. Playing with Burning Rain, which is myself, Doug Aldrich from Whitesnake, Keith St. John who's in Montrose, and Sean McNabb on bass, plays in backing. And so that record is called Epic Obsessions. It just came out worldwide in May. Okay. And so we're going to be touring on that in the fall. It's looking like Europe, Japan, maybe South America, and hopefully, definitely some U.S. dates, but hopefully like a decent run in the U.S. too, because the response on that record's been really good. It's been really good. So yeah, and I'll be changing some diapers here and there, and I've been doing a lot of studio work in LA, which is cool right now, just to be home, and just be there with my wife and do that because that's the real stuff. And I've also been touring with a band called Love Hate, which was had 3 records on Sony, like late '80s into the '90s, and that's another band that I grew up loving their style, and so I've been playing with them and doing some shows and just okay for a couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Cool. And we're going to put on the bottom of the screen like a website that we can follow Matt Starr at. What is the website?
Yeah, it's called mattstarmusic.com, and Starr has 2 R's. And there's also another site called Dr. Starr's Mustache Apparel, which is what this is from.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of my
Different
shirts.
shirts.
And
Nice.
yeah, so I'm doing that with another guy from who owns his own t-shirt company, and we're coming up with 5 different shirts, and Dr. Starr's Bolivian mustache dust, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, just fun stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Starr, thank you so much again for joining us.
pleasure.
Have a wonderful time tonight, and we look forward to having a more in-depth interview with you. So give us all your details, and we'll be in contact. And yeah, so signing off, Simon Fishburn with Matt Starr.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.